Welcome to the Deep Dive, the place where we distill dense source material into the core knowledge you need, and fast.
Today, we are digging into something really interesting, a transformative workbook for leaders.
Right, specifically for leaders who are, stuck. They're stuck in the day-to-day operations and they want to get back to being the visionary.
Exactly. And this isn't just theory. The source material lays out this really rigorous five-step process they call the core fire method.
Okay, the core fire method.
Yeah. And the whole premise is that most leaders aren't trapped by a lack of ideas. The problem is a lack of aligned purpose, and maybe more importantly, a lack of explicit permission to change.
So our mission for this deep dive is to really break down those 5 steps. We're going to pull out the specific and sometimes pretty intense instructions that are designed to force that change.
It's framed less like a planning session and more like a hard reset for your entire leadership identity.
I like that, a hard reset. But it sounds like it requires some serious setup first.
Oh, it does. It demands commitment. The sources are really clear on this. You have to block out 2 to 3 hours, completely uninterrupted.
No phone, no email, nothing.
Nothing, just you and the workbook. It's about creating a sacred space, almost. They suggest finding an inspiring room, maybe lighting a candle.
I saw that, yeah, or using a mantra like I lead from the core. It really signals the gravity of what you're about to do, doesn't it?
It creates an intentional boundary.
Yeah.
And you need it, because the work that follows it's really focused, both emotional and strategic.
Okay, let's unpack this then. It all starts with the foundation, which is this crucial first step of truth-telling. Page 1, the mirror.
Right, so the first 2 pages, the mirror and the fire starter, they're the foundation. Page 1 is all about forcing some radical honesty.
And the intensity is built right in. I mean, they tell you to set a timer for only 10 minutes to answer these really raw prompts. 10 minutes, I mean, that sounds wildly insufficient for something as big as self-diagnosis. Is that to stop you from, filtering your own answers?
That's the genius of it. The time pressure is the whole point. It prevents you from editing, from rationalizing, from overthinking it. You write.
So prompts like, what am I tolerating that drains me? And you just have to go with your gut.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The goal isn't analytical perfection. It's raw, unedited emotion. Then you're told to circle anything that felt emotionally charged.
But then comes the real release valve. Right, the truth rant.
Yes. After that first 10 minutes, you set a new timer.
Yeah.
3 minutes. And you just write as fast and as raw as you possibly can. The sources say no edits.
It's like a purge of all that frustration. The examples in the material, they really capture that burnout. Something like, I'm exhausted, I'm done being the safety net I want to build, not just patch holes.
You can just feel the relief in those words. And that purging is essential. If you don't get that frustration out, it's just going to sabotage everything else you try to do.
And the final piece of that is you have to find one insight that actually surprised you.
Yeah, to make sure it's not just a rehash of old complaints. It has to lead to a new realization.
It's brilliant how they pivot right after that. You go from this intense personal pain
Right out of the rant.
and straight into page 2, the fire starter. The focus shifts completely from exhaustion to your fundamental drive.
It's an intentional re-anchoring. The fire starter is all about reconnecting with your origin story. That moment, the work really started to matter. It taps into a motivation that goes way beyond the current operational headaches.
And again, it's all about specificity. You don't just list stakeholders, you have to name specific people clients, your family, your younger self even.
And you have to name the exact pain or injustice that fuels your mission. This is what shifts the energy from being all about your own burnout to being driven by something external.
Which is visualized with the why wall.
Exactly. You literally sketch it out. You list quotes, faces, memories, anything that fuels your mission.
The example was so powerful. Photo of Mrs. L, her smile when I remembered her birthday, and the quote, we all deserve to be seen. I mean, that's not just a business goal.
It's not. It's a tangible emotional resource. Something you can go back to when that temptation to just be the operator comes back.
So that clarity of purpose really sets the stage for what's next. Page 3, the architect.
Which is where we move from all this internal work, the truth, the purpose, to defining your external identity, your vision.
This is where you define your North Star. First, you have to find the brand's heartbeat, the one thing you want to be known for.
And then you choose your top 3 guiding values.
Yeah.
What's so interesting here is that you're creating filters before you start planning anything to make sure every future strategy aligns with these core values.
But the most counterintuitive part of this page, I think, is where they tell you to redefine success.
Oh, absolutely.
You're specifically told to forget every external metric, revenue, headcount, all of it, and instead define what success feels like on the inside.
It forces you to realize that hitting all your targets but feeling miserable is still failure, right? The example they give is perfect. Having time to mentor my team, feeling proud of our culture.
Those are measures of fulfillment, not just output. And this all culminates in the business manifesto. How is this different from, a standard mission statement?
A mission statement says what you do. A manifesto declares who you are and, just as importantly, what you stand against. It's got to be bold, emotional, visionary.
A declaration of war against the status quo.
Yeah, exactly. It's an ideology. The example says it all. We are not just a care company. We are a movement for visibility, respect, and heartfelt connection.
Wow. Okay, so once you've defined that bold new identity, you have to actually make space for it. Which brings us to page 4, the disruptor.
Right. If the architect built the castle, the disruptor has to tear down all the shacks that are cluttering up the view. This is the ruthless removal phase.
Because that visionary leader can't exist if you're still tied down by all these old obligations.
You can't, so you have to list them. Everything you do out of obligation or fear or just habit. Then you name the fears and imagine what you'd do if they were just gone.
It shines a spotlight right on the blockages.
A huge spotlight. And then you have to break the rules. You write down the norms or beliefs you're ready to challenge.
But letting go is so hard for leaders. How does the workbook make sure this isn't just, an intellectual exercise? What's the deal with the eulogy?
The eulogy is the pivotal moment here. It's this powerful, symbolic act of closure. You have to write a literal funeral for a role or a habit that no longer serves that visionary you just defined.
So you're actually saying goodbye.
A formal goodbye. Like the example.
Yeah.
A eulogy for my identity as the one who always covers. I honor her, but she's keeping me small.
You acknowledge its past service, but declare it obsolete.
Yes, and that ritual letting go is what's so often missing. We all know we need to delegate, but we rarely perform the ceremony to kill the need to be the rescuer.
And that page ends with the most important part, signing the permission slip.
The final contract with yourself. It's granting yourself the authority you already have, but maybe never formalized. The example's so sweeping. I give myself full authority to delegate, to lead, and to stop rescuing. I am ready.
The foundation is laid, identity is set, space is cleared. That signature really unlocks the action.
It does. It sets the stage for the final part.
Which is page 5, the activator. This is the implementation phase. After all that deep, messy work, this is where it becomes real.
And the first instruction is so critical. Choose 3 bold, specific actions for the current week.
Not next month. Now.
Right now. Immediate, high-impact moves that prove the identity shift is real. Like the example for week 1. Delegate Tuesday and Thursday shifts. Train Jasmine to take over.
That is directly tied to the eulogy for the one who covers. It's accountability.
Total accountability.
Right.
And then you define your future self. Not by what she achieves, but by her habits, her mindset, her boundaries.
She protects her time. She speaks with clarity. She builds systems, not just solves problems. It's like a blueprint for daily course correction.
Yes, to make sure every little decision aligns with that new architect identity. And if you connect this to the bigger picture, the difference between this and just a to-do list is it's profound.
Because of all the alignment work you did on the first 4 pages.
Exactly. The truth you told, the vision you declared, the old self you mourned. It all makes the action on page 5 not just possible, but, well, inevitable.
And the final piece is the 30-day action plan to make sure it sticks.
It's the maintenance plan. 1 bold move, 1 daily ritual, and 1 reflection per week. It's the feedback loop to protect the new visionary from sliding back into being the tired operator.
So what does this all mean for you, our listener? This core fire method is a really powerful, structured path out of that operator trap. Truth, purpose, identity, removal, and then action.
And it proves that strategic clarity is pretty much useless if you haven't given yourself explicit ritualized permission to actually change roles. It's a full psychological transition.
It addresses the emotional debt, it defines the North Star, and then it forces you to physically remove the old habits that are holding you back. So, if that permission slip on page 4 is the final contractual step, the question we want to leave you with is this. You probably intellectually agree that you need to delegate, stop rescuing, and reclaim your time. But have you actually signed that contract with yourself?
Because the real cost of leaving that slip unsigned isn't just about lost revenue or something. It's the visionary potential that you leave trapped inside the operator.
We encourage you to reflect on that difference, the difference between just defining a new self and truly signing the permission slip to become that self. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.